Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Hilger and I researched the DRA second and third edition. I looked specifically at the progress monitoring components of those kits. The purpose of the progress monitoring assessment is that it offers tools needed to observe and document student reading levels and helps inform instructional practice. It helps also determine students' independent and instructional reading level. I feel that that's the main purpose and component of these kits. Evaluation of reading engagement, oral reading fluency, and comprehension is also a big part of these kits. Why might the assessment be used? It allows teachers to assess student reading level and observe, record, and evaluate changes in performance over time. The literacy area that is assessed is informal reading inventory with a heavy emphasis on a running record. What knowledge of literacy can be gained? It helps determine each student's independent and instructional reading level. I feel that the progress monitoring really helps determine that student independent and instructional reading level. It's given as many times as you want. It's very common for it to be given 3 times a year in the fall, winter, and spring. My district requires me to use it, so I've had personal experience with this assessment tool. And it's used to track growth over time. So I compare my students' scores from fall, winter, and spring to determine how much they've grown throughout the year. One component is that it's in person. So I feel that it's a very natural, casual conversation about a short passage that they read. It's also very useful for helping determine starting levels for younger students and students entering the building where you might not have a lot of information on what reading skills they come to you with. There are 4 steps to administering this assessment. The first one is the reading engagement, where you observe reading habits, performance, and goals. Step 2 is the oral reading fluency, where you analyze and record oral reading. Step 3 is comprehension. Evaluate how well students understand the information that they have read. This is when you ask those questions, and to me, it feels like a very casual conversation and you're just talking about what the student read. Step 4 is the teacher analysis, where you use the students' responses to assess what they know, and it helps create and personalize instruction for further learning. The scoring is done in step 3, and you ask students predetermined questions and record student responses. There are possible responses provided, so you kind of know what you're listening for, but there are no specific answers that are required for each one. So you just have that conversation with them and really get a gauge and grasp an understanding of what they understood. You give a score 1 through 4 in each section based off of the students' responses. Students can use the text to go back and locate answers, which I feel like is a huge skill and tool all in itself. And then you calculate an accuracy percentage and overall reading fluency words per minute of the text. And you determine kind of where their score falls 1 through 4. Now, the scoring scale, again, is 1 through 4. A score of 1 is an intervention level. That is, the passage is too hard. It's requiring a lot of support and one-on-one prompting, and the student is having a hard time doing it on their own. A 2 is more instructional level, so it still might be a little bit difficult, but they're able to do a little bit of it on their own, especially with some prompting. A score of a 3 is an independent level, and students are able to do this on their own. They require very little support or prompts, and then a 4 is advanced, where it's too easy. They're able to provide more information than needed, and it's not challenging them to really show what they know. How can the results be used to inform next steps in instruction? It quickly helps determine students' instructional needs, and then you can create a plan based off of that for further instruction. You can also obtain more in-depth information for a student with DRA word analysis. So you're really able to observe some of the tricky components and where those struggling and emerging readers really need to attend to some various work, both in spoken and written word.